Good morning, Manchester United fans, on this day of recording. Carlos Baleba to Manchester United seems to be off. Reported by Fabrizio Romano and David Ornstein Bombay yesterday that there is no sale for Brighton. What in earth is going on? Did the fans just get gaslighted, or did we go to the barbershop, negotiated with Paul Barber, and came out trimmed? The truth of the matter is disclosed here. Guys, welcome to the channel. This is Mick Ruby from MUFC Realist TV. Do not forget to hit that like button, subscribe, because here we go. As close shave as possible.
And Garnacho!
Has the Premier League ever been more challenging?
Will you be in the dugout at Old Trafford on Sunday? I will be here. Definitely. I don't know.
Okay, let's go.
So guys, welcome back to the channel. My hairs are standing up a little bit roughy, scruffy. And this was something that we didn't expect, but kind of expected, because Brighton always demands high money. Now Fabrizio Romano come out to say,
because I've been telling you for days, contacts ongoing, talks ongoing, but very difficult deal, but Man United wanted to try. Well, United this morning made direct club-to-club contact with Brighton for Carlos Baleba. So Manchester United have started the negotiations for Carlos Baleba. And Manchester United received a very clear answer from Brighton. Not for sale. So Man United were expecting the deal to be difficult. Man United were expecting the deal to be very complicated for Carlos Baleba, but they found not a wall. More than this. More than this, because Brighton don't want to sell the player.
not a wall.
Because Brighton consider Baleba as an absolutely crucial part of their project, and this is also why the coach, Fabian Hülsler, in the recent hours was quite clear on the case, on the situation, by mentioning how he was very confident to keep Baleba at the club. And also important to say on Carlos Baleba how the player is keen on the move to Manchester United, is attracted by Manchester United project, even without European football, even without Champions League football, even in a difficult moment of the history of Manchester United, Baleba is keen on that opportunity. But Baleba never told Brighton, I want to leave, I'm going to force the move. Baleba is still happy at Brighton, while he wants to go to Manchester United, but he's not destroying his relationship with Brighton. At least this is the situation as of today. And so Manchester United made this contact with Brighton, but the answer was no, the player is not for sale. Man United tried to understand if there was a number to reach in order to try to negotiate with Brighton, 100, 110, 120 million pounds, whatever. The answer from Brighton was no number. The player is not.
Which is not true.
So that's the answer.
That's not true. Like, you know, of course, I'm surrounded by walls here as well. There is always a price. You don't simply go to a negotiation table to say, well, what's your number? Not for sale. Okay, what it will take to be for sale. And of course, this is my take on it. But however, in my personal opinion, what I think happened, let's just be real. Let's be clear that Manchester United actually got rejected and outpriced by Brighton CEO Paul Barber. You know, it feels like Baleba's dream was more of a shopping, window shopping for to gaslight the fans. To see we tried, you know what I mean? We had All In, sanctioned by Sir Jim Ratcliffe. We have reports coming in that Amorim only wants Baleba, get me that player. But however, Matt Hargreaves, which is the chief negotiator, together with Omar Berrada, Wilcox, by the way, got the green light and the credit facility, goes in and walks out unshaved. It doesn't really make sense. So if we go back in the timeline, what did Manchester United prepare? What strategy? Did they window shop and just hope for a discount, like, you know, sale, like on the window shopping? That's not just the way it works. So if we go back into the timeline to the actual rejection, in my opinion, intermediates, my understanding is it started first with intermediates first approaching his agent, Carlos Baleba's agent, to understand that there was a potential that he wanted to join Manchester United. That was true. And after that, we saw intense 3-4 weeks of reporting that Manchester United are now engaging club to club, you know, personal terms agreed. His agent is willing to facilitate the move by lowering down his wage, his overall commission fees, you know, and it doesn't really make sense. Then yesterday, the meeting, according to Fabrizio Romano and actually Ornstein reporting that there was a meeting taking place between club to club. And my understanding is present on that meeting was Omar Berrada, Jason Wilcox and chief operator, negotiator Matt Hargreaves, that's been praised for doing great business and being a shrewd operator when it comes to negotiation, walks out with nothing. Doesn't really make sense. So do a little bit digging, right? They did have a price in mind. Manchester United had a price in mind. But however, Barber said blank no to the proposal. I don't believe that you just walk away. Thank you so much. Blank no, let's walk out of here. Of course, you got to ask the question, what is the price then? You know, it's always a negotiation tactic to say, not for sale, not for sale. But everything has a price. Remember that movie, like, you know, where the indecent proposal, when a happy married couple was approached by this billionaire to say, I give you 1 million if you sleep with my wife, if I can sleep with your wife. No, of course it was no. But then eventually the money is temptation. There's always a bit to be made in analogy, in my opinion, you know. When you ask what price, of course, they got the reply. And obviously, he blew them out of the water. Must be something around 120, 130 million just to fight them off. Because in his mind, as what Fabrizio Romano is saying, they're not planning to sell. They don't need to sell. They're planning for him with Wurtzler, the head coach, planning to have him in the squad this season. And this late of the window, with 2 weeks left, it makes sense that you put a high price up, especially when there's no competition in it for it, you know. And then 100% the Manchester United delegates walks out the barber shop. I call it barber shop, which is Paul Barber, unshaved, looking like they are disgraceful. And of course, using Fabrizio Romano and David Ornstein as the intermediate mouthpiece to leak out to the fans to avoid the embarrassment, because everyone has been reporting it, that the deal is imminent, the deal is closed, we are getting to agreement. Manchester United will go all in, no matter what it takes, we'll put the money. But however, logically speaking, the figure must have been given was astronomical, which led the Manchester United walked away, in my opinion. So what's next? What is next? Of course, Ornstein, Romano, follow up by everyone else tweeting that Manchester United will try next year. But newsflash for you, let me be real. Let me be very clear. I repeat myself. Next year, it will be difficult. I'll tell you why. Because what most likely will be happening right now, Brighton will likely offer Carlos Baleba a new contract with improved salaries and hoping that next year there will be a bidding war. But rest assured, because there's no competition here this season, but rest assured, another good season with Carlos Baleba, you will probably see Manchester City, Arsenal, Newcastle, Chelsea, everyone pouncing for Carlos Baleba to bid. So I guess, as United fans, I guess that next year we will find out if this season was actually truth in it, that we were going for Baleba next year. But if we couldn't meet the demands of Brighton for this season, what makes you believe that we will do it next season, right? That is my honest reflection, and I swear to God, as a realist, we did report on this. Everyone was saying it. Yes, there is close negotiation. Yes, there is a price set. Yes, we are preparing. But however, they got simply, in my opinion, in my humble professional opinion, outbid by the price of Paul Barber, and they didn't want to put the money where it was worth. No matter what, if Amarin says, I want that player, but everything has a price. So in my humble opinion and conclusion, Brighton set a very unrealistic evaluation price for Barber. And even chief negotiator there, which is your job, Matt Hargreaves, couldn't even break the bank. So, excuse me for being a little bit ironic, but if we couldn't break the bank this season and negotiate a deal, what makes you believe that we can do it next year when we will have competition? Anyway, guys, this is just my humble thoughts and feelings, what went down. Simply, everything is documented in the timeline, and I have been given some stick on Twitter timeline. They say, you said it was a done deal. I never said it was a done deal. I simply reported on the events from the sources in the backroom stuff, what they've been saying. They feel confident that they will strike a deal, they will try the best, but I never said it's a done deal. Nobody ever did, right? There was a general confidence within the Manchester United camp that we will get Baleba. And I believe that media has been gaslighting fans. But at the end of the day, it started with Ornstein. And of course, club is leaking out directly to Ornstein because everyone listened to Ornstein and then Fabrizio Romano. These are the two people that the club are using as intermediate information intermediate to leak it out to the press and to the fan to understand that we are in for this player and we are doing this, we are doing that. They are getting the exclusive scoops. Simple as that. Anyway, guys, where do we go from here? Well, we go for target 2 if we get another midfielder. I think what I've been reporting is that Edison from Atalanta was highly on Manchester United's radar back in January. They're still monitoring that situation. I then not going to believe anything that comes out because 2 weeks left of the window, judging what Ruben Amorim was saying when he received the question in the press conference yesterday, saying that, is there anything you're looking to do for the remaining on the window to, bolster that midfield? And his answer was, no, I'm happy with that, what I have. Mason Mount can play in that. At the end of the day, you can look at it from 2 ways. The new footballing operation trying to sort of show ambition and getting egg-faced and try to save face by leaking out to Fabrizio Romano and all those things that we will go next year and probably not go for a midfielder. That means that we open up the door for a goalkeeper, but in the goalkeeping situation, then Onana needs to leave and then Bayanda needs to leave. So it's going to be interesting to see if Manchester United will do more business, but we certainly need one extra midfielder as we are lining up Toby Collier, and also Casemiro is going to leave next season. So my humble opinion that Baleba was kind of a early Casemiro replacement, as Casemiro will believe, and Casemiro is on high wages. So it's yet to be seen, yet to believe. I don't believe anything what comes out from Manchester United operations at the moment. Next year is next year. We are focusing on tomorrow. Arsenal home at Manchester United. And my score prediction is 2-1 to Manchester United. Victor Gyökeres versus Sesko. Get in there. Glory, glory, Manchester United. Let me know in the comment section, what do you feel? What do you think, logically speaking, will happen here? Leave your comments below. This has been Mick Ruby, MUFC Realist TV, having my say. Hopefully I made sense of this Baleba story day. See you to the next one. Bye. Send it.